Yes. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Baik. Benar deh.
Definitely, I want you to bring me your party leader, Famo Ketale, Kaurana the Kirfatu, Namirala Nas Najang. On this, my show was at Auntie Sally's house actually, few months after the 2021 election. Since then, we have not spoken. Mr. Darboe, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Famo Ketabake, How have you been?
Alhamdulillah, doing great, both physically and more importantly, mentally.
Mentally?
Yeah, I'm really doing great.
Why is that so important, mentally doing great?
Well, you know, for a person in my position,
yes,
so mental faculties have to be quite intact.
Yeah.
You have to be thinker, yeah, and as you are confronted with issues and so forth, you know, you think and find solutions. So if you are not mentally alert, you are not mentally fit, you can't do that.
Wow.
So you find some people are physically okay, but mentally there are issues or to matters very slow, and that is because I wouldn't say mentally they are mentally okay, but they are mentally not as agile as they should be. Yeah.
Yeah. So Itata, you just returned back from the European tour. I think that's the first leg. Ngaji Itata, United Kingdom. Tell us about that tour. What prompted Ila tour to the United Kingdom?
Well, United Democratic Party, ni haklo baka, party ya Congress kale.
Yeah.
In December.
In January.
In January.
Okay.
And of course, was cycle of Congresses. So that na diaspora chapters nyol falalo wal fanali la congresses nyolo ya organize and but intelta fatata nyame wolo itel ya ke fundraising the fananti and all those people ya fem fenyame ya lonkavoko adonta holo kono abe fendejo and mandam fenjo dam manna but membership card fanang ibe membership card tale, you know, and they are proud. Na kafko na membership card flendito, dem UDP dingletin. So what ado nying ntato wala United Kingdom, yela Congress ke, alhamdulillah, ko na party obe nyame, democratic values nyolo, ngokulia bake, palasol nyolo, ntafla mole nyo sabala. War mo be yalla la foy doli yalla la place killing la amanke ñoo sabata do alhamdulillah wayan content baake bawo mo li aja ka ko United Democratic Party la place solo mo be ka pour ngata o mo kayra baleti
ne wosab
parti lo kanyalo parti lo kanyalo mo be yaja ka ko bi ne membe tonya fala ka ko United Democratic Party atlamu kafoti me yaron kafoko apareta katonya sabati ndi banko nyankan alon kafoti me yaron kafoko ikafta tonya le kan tana ka kafoti me yaron kafoko mol mantara kono kafoko be jikirin ko place le dilela wala be contract le dilela mo fanka be nyen jikol sa kafoko na banko be alhalo mento ten asibono woto yo jikol so United Democratic Party to nim parti o nyim banti panko nya nabata alhalo to me ka alhalo ko tente me ye mo be wasa itel mel be tubabu do ate siala mo ke kol ka fo ko fenki nyenan boy fon ba kan wala jandole e fen so do no be kanjeto banko alhalo ka so el lafta ka banko ni ka bon alhalo to
because ne yengo nyen ka jama alla congress olu even Janjambure for Tubabu doing Kaji Mulka news of a place. At some point, I think Gabriela Janjambure Congress in Kobuba. You saw be caring for any executive place or Kodola Bijaban for Muna be caring. It gets so contentious. Mulka news about Kajari Kula, Kajari Purko Plus, or Solanangan environmental in government. Ulananko Muna Sabu, Wo Sifa, Mulka Lafi Plus or La Patio Yunkono. Is it monthly payment lebije or munya lebije for daraja lebije? What is the reason? fundraising actually?
Well, United Democratic Party executive committee members not pay, and if all members of the party back a voluntary work like it.
Okay.
In fact, kake executive member of the United Democratic Party akaduno lele kan. Bao moli aja kafka bejik palaso to parti ojik tele palaso dile. Yama ni moli la hajol soto. Ike borna ne kaneya. Kafka ko mako nyento. So butut bukajo moya adu mobe bela frenye na kafko isi kukeno ila banko ye through the United Democratic Party. So ijikina kafko ne palaso nyenta adu ko nyi ibakila hanim palaso tebul be do ko nyi kala surtout nim palaso nyi nabe bolo oto bututu jere kam mo manjo men nka nganya lale mol kan kafko United Democratic Party ntel mal bi na fo nyo bi no alo ne de ko kafko kunun mor sabal to bata non kunun bar bi atoy mbo men bi amoke non kunun you know hana mo sabal to fam buka fo baba la commando you know katra United Democratic Party ko ne palaso so do jeto aka daraja ko tangle dila and aka kele ka ko e fang fanan ila fo ila banko la aka akafo ila hammo fanan ka ko ke banko nyiye aka akafo
ngaje ko kabidara United Kingdom in UK United Kingdom chapter wole congress ke anin fundraising altata wole to in UDP dingol minu be UK and other surrounding areas to anin other chapters so I guess ko ni will be meeting okele Gambia no me bantala ye mune message for when it comes to Gambia la koto. Did you have that kind of conversation? What are their concerns? Mune la hame kote ani la miro ti Gambia la Karola.
Well, ila concern asiata pare musolla fatingto o mu emiral balete kafako ibenni la ma bondila iten yo hitwoto wala ye fem bondi me anon kafako nitala after 9 months o mu kuleti me yalon kafako ila sula balomu in fact kambe jeto ye more dollar mus funding ko dollar saya fonye around Taboko to Janto. I know the parents coming from Kauru. I know them. Funding ke quite healthy, but I fought it labor. Wolum put melan kaboko Gambia dungulu ya wosi back. So na medical facilities nyolo. Not only facilities nyolo soto melan kaboko there will be safe delivery. Not only that, but also melan kaboko will lebetar kunna so nil kunna. Iske multi melan kaboko ye patients soto. Mandam patients damana bari ye londo fanan soto odo ko ni sakeno dabari fatu tafan let me just tell you this thing kafoko na the demand on the medical fonkolo infrastructure the demand is too high mfanga jele I've witnessed occasions that emergency ward you sometimes don't distinguish the malum patient and the jumalum escort. For the menja will chakono, my scarf column patient. And I think some of the local jeto, the doctors and so forth, namera dole patients sort of back, not the situation no katraje to nyame, you could have exploded. But mamira ibe fonko ta come back, government be anyat link come back. Fonko la na jati kende abundana adu wa mukule time yalon ka fuka nyanta mir la bake ka fonko ke ka the revenue generation kake in some areas mele alon kafoko wato kudo kake kodo sort of those areas to maybe donyan the talale to support na health facilities like the road taxes license ni accidents mel be kakete
yeah
the accidents will kada bekala na ballo tano and in horrible and terrible conditions. Sometimes situations you'll consider dole fractures or you admit for 2-3 days and they have to discharge them because more serious accidents so namira I think Minister of Health I think namira nyanta a very strong position paper prepared present it to government if I present it to cabinet for approval kafoko kodo menka soto from the road tax. I know maybe part of it should be used for maintenance of our roads and so forth, but doyeta
to maintain
to the health facilities, especially the emergency units, because in accidents, when you have accidents, the only place you go to is the emergency unit. About all these are concerns na molu, na mol come and raise really, and in, of course, the bread and butter, kono.
So ito lebe banta, ito lebe banko.
Ito lebe banta, ito lebe kasinkrol mutajanto. And nyanta duelele, and Gambian nyanti beten tulale. Kavoko natra nung itelte, daman membi janto. Ado bata nga doko chikanyo kamo. Nimfatu nisi beng, imang kuken na, nga kamfa, niko nye hera bedro nga kamfa. Ngajote bari melbe bantala alhamdulillah doing very well for us and the franchise which is important karto afuna mwila kuleti ila great concern leti to the credit of President Adama Barrow the diaspora is the 8th region.
But has there been any efforts to actualize?
Well, okay.
Because
so this is what I'm saying. That Ayoko is the 8th region. So really, if it is the 8th region, the 8th region, one of the region is contributing immensely to GDP. They should also have a say in the government. El menyanta marla banko manyanta banko nyina woto karto eta people in the diaspora finally karto soto ye have a say in selecting a president.
What can the UDP do towards that? Is there any effort that the UDP as a party can do can make sure Gambian will be banta? Because if I'm a party and I see that a lot of my people are out there, I'll try to whatever efforts they can do. Is there any effort that the UDP is doing?
We certainly call on the government to do it. In fact, the electoral reform and bita content, the elections bill is on. We have an input there, but more importantly, that constitution, me yalon kafoko ya fai banda, and we are going to bekela foundation onyenti pour diaspora voting. Although na current elections act I have provided kafako IEC the rules nyolke pour Gambian nationals medal kafke bantala pour isi karto faino. Jaman follow la steps nyolta de simfanya tata jeto Almanya men kafar kalai Bishop Telewa Johnson ate mu chairman wat mayaron kafako really IEC ninto dia IEC la atele ya trophy Bishop Telewa Johnson woyo started pour ka code ka doku and kabran atletla tam ya te bondi Mr. Roberts fananata about pushka, but guess what? Egoko is going to be expensive. It's going to be expensive. That is the government because mampare kodo bandla pur kaki jeta. And the current government wo mo manya na follow ye. bawo wala kata na lo ñaati wala kata kumaten kam même fo ka dogili la ka ko melbe bantala ñante carte fay so ñamman so kuna manya na kan mo manya na fole mo meke o dikan ñanda bal ka ko ñina mun na priority te Gambian si diaspora ibe carte fay la ni Guinea Bissau sa keno in fact all the countries in the sub-region ibe ba ke kan na Gambia ta keno la
with the diaspora, but I'll still follow up on this. You talked about constitution of Burka Murundi. Are you optimistic for Murunale Abenyami for falling the role because they were contestants like 2011 Kafukate Muruna? That was one of the things, and I think I mean, some of the things are coming piecemeal at the assembly. Muni along with Wutu Mol ke fena ni woje kori woman sobodi nga modol mele ka ko na tara constitution o binala nan oto manya na fodol bondi la kono ke nati nan abatura kay nan abina nan yola. So you being a leader of a political party kabre o trende, what was your observation? Are you optimistic of constitution on abina muruna nanne anduna bina? Are you open to giving away some of the coal me along cattle fanang issues sort of with me along Manzakundala side? Obviously, Bondila atol fanang we're adamant on no, we want to keep everything abenyami. What is UDP's position now when it comes to
position ni clear tele mang kuma mensa le mo sa ko bari ikamunefo ikanyinefo ba fo ikanyindelo fo ba na itandile the international facilitators la nga for publicly fana ko ye mensamba in the National Assembly for NPP call ni la denyolu for ya afai banta wo kaita killing wo constitution killing wala binala the National Assembly fenta falina je to nim falin robe kala jeto abe kala at the level of the National Assembly la bar motita sila ila office auto ye falin role ki jeto ngai tan la ka afgon tan tatala
so no to nana ta without ni falin honors from for example if the AG's chambers here fengo dol falin je natinang
because we are not taking it.
Okay,
we are not taking it. We are not taking a draft from the executive. Draft men nim falin robe kala I ka the National Assembly muna na monyante banauto wode wo ngole fadu manka wala adu manuku moma adu tanuku na mom fano so nimmel lafta kafu ko lafta new constitution la manza kunda lafta la wode draft na ya nade bawo kachal ketal ko wol fen ketal you know for wali dalu ama wara ko tenke so ama ntala jew tama wara ko ten sala na National Assembly but tonya lo mol kamen fo kafu ko ning constitution ning cool bi jota men nat lafna nar la to the assembly in piecemeal doliaji wonyale but memo adu ngamire kafu men na fana wolo mo ni I think the judges remuneration bill you know but mola jer nyalo wote ka the current constitution wala power D for legislation to be made respecting the services and remuneration of judges. It's not that new constitution.
Okay.
It's in the current constitution.
Current constitution. Okay.
The current constitution.
Okay.
More jube kunke. Yaja bari ikaklobe menka wano because there's a similar provision in the draft constitution. So you have like oil after draft, oil after not like in peace. But it's not so.
It's not so.
Well, na mol nyanta ye hak nibe cold jubela. Yeah, your comparisons nyolke. But like afoko ni is in the current constitution. You know, maybe they should have allowed the bill at our committee stage. Ememel kuntu na jeto yo kuntu jeto, and then we have the law.
I mean, but Molko, I want to come there before because you call the DPTL Fongole was support. Molko, police will be janne, the salary is very slow. Neither no solto, and doctor no solto, everything can no sol be strike la coilas allowance sol mankiring ila jodo yatale. Ni tata any sector mini alonko bolle society muta ni ajube ila jokol jolbe doyarine and for me I am one of those people I believe like a judiciary nyanta empower because I look at it from the United States and other big democracies where because when it comes to justice is very expensive and then mulla life le babala because Jojo mean ka decisional make about people's lives and those can be very very expensive like somebody going to jail, somebody la right here trample on if they are not that independent nimang in isembentuya bake iso justice system isa fenko doyandinole. I understand that, but I think neo natin and sign even though we know Jojo need fenko la salary. I hear some people say why not across the board, why not magistrates and others and the entire judiciary model bofokang why just the judges now my dol bafokang but jennim bakela Jojo damati why not we just look at the entire salary structure of the entire civil service and just make sure everybody gets a fair share not ko mol mala fi Jojo ila payments or nim fenko soto but mol across the board nata na economy ba ak antal no because ngaje sinya jelle nga minister jakata national assembly akafuko even dono partner sol nyanta ko dol min nati la ba dile kan now ninga nyin ko dol fanan la fa wo kan payment dol la fa kan faten na bankola munafang fanan doyandi la. These were the concerns. I think a lot of these were more of the concerns and the general population looked at it as to look maybe this is not the priority right now. But I think generally it was not coming from a place of Ganadila. But can we afford it right now?
Well, I think Inyanta Bulala no at that on the committee stage.
Okay.
And then Jeto, he left a mail for la Safo, he left a mental ala Jeto, Satala Jeto. Tonya Ngama Kafoko, like a police will mention them.
Yeah.
Now, be Inspector General of Police. You know, now retired. Well, let me not take the court inspector general loyalty, not a retired. Not a retired as inspector general of police. He can go into legal practice, and he'll continue to earn decent money.
Yeah.
But if a judge retires today, he cannot go to practice. I did not talk to practice at all. He cannot do even consultancies. It come argument doctors. Yes, doctors. Yes,
yeah.
They also need to be paid. But today, you know, from my experience, that a lot of doctors who are in government service, they're going to private practice. I mean, while they're still
with government. Yeah.
While they're still with government, and if they retire, they can continue doing their practice. That is not applicable to the judges. Magistrates, no. If you leave the magistrate bench, you can go to private practice.
Oh.
But not a high court judge.
Not a judge.
Not a high court judge. Is it? Because if you say the nurses, you compare the nurses with the other support staff in the courts, the court clerks, the registrars, and so forth. You know, but it's unfortunate among. I think there was a lot of phone call outside.
Yeah.
Members, they couldn't see their way through. You know, and Fatu, I tell you this.
But is it the way it was presented? Go ahead.
I'll tell you this. One factor may na yafa. Iko ni Mr. Dawola molo ni aje baso ko de Mr. Jaw lawyer lo ilafta batela fasa kanjana. Data keno la Jojo to nyimbanko ka mumeke. It's not possible.
How?
Because I'm so much involved in politics.
Okay.
I cannot go there.
Okay. Because I had that argument too.
Yes, not that I know. Who not get work telling la. Especially not a monkey voice. I have way. So I cannot be a judge.
Is it that you would think you will not be or it keno lati? Because as a senior lawyer, you can be a judge.
I can be a judge.
You can be a judge.
I can,
but you are looking at it from a political point. Okay. Because no fana argument mo dolko ni aje UDP DPTL when you support her is because of you.
It's not so.
Because you might think of being a judge.
Why would I want to be a judge? Nanyang do ko nying kilia bi jeto ba ke la sur kotol na alpha bana asiken o jojo tleng amuna na amansa because na tata to the bench nyel mel banyato jeto mel ya saba the bench wale bakala le seniority but at the badung atlam wol bela senior so at love la kata jeto nte bi ya mai hanata mantra political kokoto ya mai because bekala konga ke joyte namba fulele kono kadko mel baby jeto
most of them you are most senior
maybe senior in fact
all of them okay
yeah all of them so hanin tafengara tafeng no la better le ko mani da fonko li be la no fori na natra ko hanin telefona but fonko do faham balia lo
so but mojama fananko ite you are most of the time you're very sympathetic to the people in the legal sector, in the judiciary. Is that why you convince your parliamentarians to support this bill? Because some of them were so adamant. I remember checking on Honorable Madi Sise to just look at their opinions. A lot of them were so putting their neck out let's go to the bill on Samba to the committee stage and look at it, and that's why a lot of people say maybe it was your influence.
But that is the reasonable legislative process. That is the reasonable legislative process. I mean, Kafa, at the threshold, Kafa Jeto was the same thing that was done to the Constitution.
Yeah.
That was done to the Constitution.
But why are you always sympathetic to the judiciary? Is it because of your relationship with them? Even sometimes when I see a lot of times when the people rule against your party, you are always you. Sometimes even when I think I only saw you once. Say Kumakando, just once, and that was not even hard enough. People say you're always very much, very cautious when you talk about the judiciary. Is it because of ill relationship? Because even in the Mr. Darboe, even in the United States, right?
It's not because
judiciary, ni Supreme Court say ruling ke, ni order more rulings ke. You see the president of the Republic and go after them because they feel like, you are always very nice to the judiciary. Is it because of your relationship? I mean,
I hope we understand. Is it because Chief Justice Magistrate all come from Bansang?
I'm kind of going there. He's my friend, though.
No, but for America.
Yeah.
You see, American judiciary operate the appointment of judges.
Yeah.
Political considerations come in. They say these are the conservatives.
Yeah. And the
liberals. These are the liberals, the liberal-minded. Like the Franco on abortion.
Abortion laws,
for almost 50 years.
They had to do it because they have the numbers there.
For almost 50 years. But there you have now a conservative bench.
Yeah, they changed it.
A conservative bench, they have a Republican thinking, and then change, and then of course the current president of the United States, a Democrat, thinks more liberal, is very liberal-minded, and then of course he says that the conservative views are really an obstacle to Bankola Nyatota. But in the Gambia, it's not an issue of whether it's a liberal-minded judge or a conservative-minded judge. It's woman at all. And Namel Long, as a lawyer, ni judgment kata me along kafko really I don't agree with it. I'm not in the case. You know, I can write an article on it.
Okay.
I can write an article on it, critique it, you know, show, in my view, the judges have gone wrong, you know, or if I'm in the case, I go on appeal, you know. I had criticized the Supreme Court here, that they sacrificed justice on the altar of technicality.
That's the election, yes.
Yes, because it's a court that promotes justice. This Supreme Court is a court. The Supreme Court, in fact, the judges in the Gambia, they promote justice. Technical justice, no, they are. I mean, getting away from that. They are ignoring technical justice and doing substantial justice. But then, if you do, you know, of course, we criticize you. You know, we do criticize you. I'm not. I am not. I don't have soft spot for the. I don't have soft spot for the. I do not. And then of course I'll tell you this. Maybe I understand the operation of the system in it. Like ning mo konyoko well. If I lent to a new judgment kele. Mamira George Carey, you know, maybe one song, maybe also name of Kai ha as a canole, but no keta, mayat na mansafana yasafe. I have got tell ya kuntu about Hanitaman or Antoka Yatakalan. As a kid, Hana Bekalaka can wali objet, Hana remember minority, or Rosatara, Ifana ye tafo, Kavo Contelan Miro to Kito and Yanto Kuntla Tene. Bari nalbe ko ha itafo ko karda mane la card kitiyo munyente albele la kitiyo mo itafo na karda mane tamo. So what sifalo I try to point out, you know, and of course maybe some people have come soft on the judiciary. I remember some time ago Dole statement Sifa Doke, you know, against the passing of the Chief Justice. Yeah. And I came out, I said that was wrong. You were. I said that was wrong. Because for me, he's one of the Africa's erudite judges, you know, held in very high esteem, you know, internationally. And people more will understand. I don't think you should really take things personal after all. Nigeria. Have they not finished with petition cases there? Yeah. But I have not had anybody attacking any of the judges personally. Yeah. So that, because if I'm president of the country, that institution, judiciary, I will respect it, and I would want people to respect it. But I cannot be in the opposition and Kavo Kombe judiciary ba fese la. Maybe a cook a men diante lafta Kenya mamanka what are Kenyan FSFS just as the IEC, just as the police, in fact any institution in this country. Yeah. Nimme Kanyama, I'll say it, but just because I'm in the opposition. Well, these are institutions merely along Kavako. Sama Ningapala so sama Bible ni telebedo ko kala so at kala haklimayati bi ka ko banta do ko la ya mo ka kebe pentrino pentru jawla man ko même ma ke kunde satili wodem bo fo nyato fo.
Now come again to the European tour before move back to the home front. Still the European chapter of Fanambela Congress kala shortly, I think in Swiss, right? And then wo Fanambela and the Congress will be follow. Mira, what is the strength of what role does the diaspora, especially the UDP diaspora, play in strengthening alla patio lo nya bi bankoka diaspora lol munati niya jube munana ko mayata nyin congress will be alkataje alnibe bulobe nyokono. What is their role? What role do they play kaje ko patio nyin na sembentu ya bankoka ngai bamba?
Well, diaspora kama koy sila jamal policy matters nga mol sotle in the diaspora nalan kav ko lonna lo moyti in various fields adu ita banko tamandi nola anyama membe mol wasala nata man good policies nol soto so ila contributions to our policy documents nol omo kukuma balete fulanjang eka makwe funding to because all this fundraising you know, like I said, each and every one of them paid something, you know, and that was huge crowd. So that they put it together. In fact, imagine a purungana abebuli jeto. But then you know, kamuta jeto so that nearer the elections, would have a pool of funds. Na kama sina pasol keno jeto. Sabanya fane kamenke walom ka recruitment, you know, ka molu mudare ya foke na no ke dundi na kafokono. Ani mel fane be kafokono ke mudare ya pour ye sabati patonyo kono. So I call back. So I call back. Ela outreach. Ela outreach man dang diaspora damana. But ela outreach cannot even Gambia janto. So akuma ata bake ibe jeto nyawnya. But the political nyinton iba balundi kane just as melbe Gambia janto ibe political iba balundi kane.
Now coming back to the home front, recently ngajeko critics mini alonko the critics of this government ngaje series of arrests, people like human rights activist Madi Jobate, comedian Alaji Bora. As a veteran lawyer and somebody who fought for Mola Nyanto all your life, and then even before you get into politics, and even in politics, this is something you dealt with for the past 22 years. What is your take when it comes to now in the Gambia?
Well, nganya me kavko ela karfe uduna mobe dalene amesu manguru konte be nyame no kabato du mobe ra mode diamola no me fenkala be duku la berne he left a call to muzzle you know the people and to muzzle the press. He left a call and really from the political point of view, I mean na democratic gains nyolo nga kasara squandered it.
How?
Katuko na mensoto nu mbwati nyakane wala nanko nga kasara le.
Okay.
You know, and from the legal point of view, from the constitutional point of view, you know, you cannot have a greater you know affront to constitutional than this type of behavior. And you deal with them accordingly. But etelua tala ya misuse against people. Ko ngafanya in one of my press phone call, Karl Marx for law is an instrument in the hands of the oppressor against the oppressed.
Yeah.
Kaluata, kamulti limbaliana. Yeah, camera kavuko is legal. Hani, but bumulti limbaliakala. Yamo arrest, samba. Yeah, and it's been abused. Katuko. Yamo tajuma. So let the clock go round.
Yeah.
72 hours. After that 72 hours, yabula ite fem falaye. Fanin sula tela mbekila nane.
They cannot report.
Wala kana report. But you know, kadko nibe mo bella. Ika bel ka ko nyineke. Ika ko nyineke wala nambe bel dilela. But ni man koke. Muna ebe mum belle dilela.
And that brings to question the IGP. Come here for nyami lua lonne. And there's a lot of lawyers in the police department. And I think a lot of Gambians, including myself, had made it a point of duty to know now the law. Purung na right so long. Ngalon neko 72 hours might exclude Friday and Saturday and Sunday la. It's counted, right? Unless natra nung court de no feta mari sama no court. But no ante because mbeba karankan at this point mo bebe mirakang pur ni somebody something like that. But also katandi ko fananko niye mo muta 72 hours ilafta kabula is either inyanta charge lale for a crime, then abe bail based on that le, or yabula unconditionally. But ngaminje wala ya foi ko ID card fulanati o ila passport to jang o nyintu jang, and every 2 days every day in a report, but there's still not a charge against you, and nika continue ka work for months. Then after I die down, what as a lawyer, what is your take on that? Is that the way to do things, or is that an abuse of due processes or the law of or human moral basic rights?
Well, that is certainly it is an abuse of the process.
Yeah.
In fact, here IG4, I watched a program on QTV. I don't know whether it was State of the Nation. One of those programs. You know, IG was the guest, and that day when the program ended, you know, before he became IG, I had a great deal of admiration. Yeah. But volume, I increased the back because he indicated Kafoko. They have a human rights unit
at the police.
So that complaints against police officers who violate people's rights can go there and lodge complaints against the particular officers. And then they would take the appropriate measures. But then Nana J. IG Nying is presiding over this type of system. May I don't moral rights okay, baliala. So I tell you, human rights from Komeya is established in your institution. And if I'm a I'm a falso. But Namira Kafako, Gambian Continental Wakil Menna. Ole nyina Kafako, Molcam Kafako, Moni Masabuka Kele, Moni Masabuka Kitty. Yanina wala. Nia Kela, Asamako, Kaduko, if you near on a Friday, you menke, you call you menfo, local flacoma. You're about to just Friday in Ekama. That is ill motivated. Or in mantra crime fight come. Well, after the Kemarike Batande. So in time, Mari Yantale, Emasakuna Yesu. And of course, you know, never yes, officer me yake ya finansu. And your judgment soto against, because if Africa by Carousel so against that officer, don't go to the treasury. Cannot a treasury put treasury at office and Bulanoma.
So don't just stop at suing the office of the IGP and the government, but also the officer that arrested.
The officer may not have calling you, but yes, do it. Oh yes.
Was that not officer not acting under the office of the IGP?
Well, if acting, IGP not legit.
Okay.
But to show IGP is liable, you have to show the wrongdoing of this police officer
as well.
So then I'll go after them, so that there is regular. But not Rakafoko your cookie, yeah, compensation of you have to go to the treasury.
Yeah, Banco Belakodo.
Banco Belakodo. ite la tinyaro ya mo jena banko be na ka kodota kojo yeah no so I'll go after them, even though I'll still have the Inspector General of Police, but no judgment sort of, I will not ask government to pay. I'll ask you, the officer, to pay, so that it will be a lesson for them. Moya for ko Anyinke, it has said there is an order coming from above, and you know that immoral and illegal orders you shouldn't obey them. After all, but adole kono janto.
The never again slogan. People started bringing Kafuko never again. But well, never again is it going to be a reality, because 72 hours before Madin and Borala arrest, the president had said that Memol arrest for in a conversation nimmi alongo hani nata court lay bail mberi arrest lale, and then ngaji Borara situation, obviously he was on bail by the police, arrest, and Madi also made some statements and then was arrested, and crime was even kabriebule la nyimfe gole man crime foye minke comme ye charge mina bari ye question la drongalo ye question mina bari may charge, so ni aussi falje. Do you think police olu ye fambula kula momi blamina, or because obviously the office of the president is so high, nim president o femfo intebam fongo jilal ko ngafo ko president o nyim fo batum fana act for him to see me doing something. Do you think is for nyim motivate? Because that's what a lot of people say. Maybe audi amole nyim motivate by president o yofo amantile fulasi ye bora arrest ye madi arrest. Are you concerned about that trend? Because knowledge and kunung and being new sifanata being a modo they have succeeded. More basically that time more book of nobody wants to go to police station. I don't want to leave my comfort of my home.
I certainly appreciate. I mean, I think you should be subjected to that, and I don't think you will be subjected to that. But remember, you see, court bail and the follow, let them be the police bail.
Okay.
And the police bail, near dealer, na be revoke la. Il a bail conditions nyolo. New more violate, then really they have no right. Kavuko bail ni ba revoke la. Because the bail is granted to you on conditions, and you fulfill those conditions. Email bail conditions you will violate. That will again be an improper exercise of discretion. Wale ananko mwali nyanta parela sanyo. Kama sa kuna kese mba court. So to this. Inte berol inte dokol ni mfang tala kekende de. Bari fangle luwal men landi banko kang. O luwal nyebe bulala wole noma. Ya itan le kavuke kamenke. Amanke silote. Adun ndete sonnala. God bail. Well, it's unfortunate kavoko president yokumofo. Kat follow nyimbanko. Atalomu moti. Be yalan kavoko anyanta lola kaje ko luwai bunya banko ka. Na constitutional mem provide wolonko all agencies of government nyantale ka kiti ulali ke makwe ya orders nyol melke pour kaje ko atamata ande tamala nyame president la fana nyanka ko bare ni kon ko nyon ko nyafa is very unfortunate bare adobato bi administrateur la pour ko mofo adobato and me ala si hakloto because nyilaka kafun nyoma domandin fo ya yitandi kala al halo be yitandi molla taman serol lomo taman serol melan ko manka taman ser betete banko ya adi manka taman ser betete fanake president fangaya katam taman ser man mulo ka foko mampare kalwa bunya kote order di ite kafu police wala ko altalia fa hal ko to In fact, ning policeman na ta fanya muta wajo ni mu magistrate wajo nye ite police officer me sambala for contempt. Ngeta nge 5 mile. Oh yes, ngeta nge 5 mile too adumbe long date le dile.
But this is my thing. Kodi ning magistrate ko ay police officer charge contempt of court la. IGP or the police le nyanto effect la. Ni ma effect do?
I'll continue issuing orders for their because somebody within the rank.
Because that's why I keep asking this question.
Somebody within the rank will comply with the court order.
I keep asking this question on my show and on my Facebook page. I keep asking, who is releasing the peace? I keep asking this, and I still don't get answers to this. For example, I remember there was this particular case, Lamin Kamara clients from Desan. If you know Lamin Kamara, Momi Alonko from social media, right? This guy literally wrote on Facebook, he was threatened by an institution because he was trying to defend his clients. Clients solo grant bail twice. The Bunju Magistrate Court, yes, I'm in detention. Itata Kanifing Court, he ordered the bail. He after ke arrest no, and then when people start writing about it, after keep on for them to go and seek for another FEMCO in the High Court, even though he left to file like okay, but court him for on sign ibula wanyanta kerakodi. He said that I interviewed him. He said it openly. This is an institution under the arm of government. You charge those contempt of court.
No, but coming for court order mendi and police may arrest the effect. Name Mr. Kamarati.
Yeah.
Identify that, and I file contempt proceedings against him. And let us now see judiciary and executive, which one is here to protect the rule of law. Oh yes, I would have done that. I saw Kabringa read, Mr. Kamaralo read on the bar page.
Yeah.
But why? Haninte, Junior James era. Yeah, mall defend Jamel Kafka Mandia.
Yeah.
But man threatened it. Man threatened. Maybe what they are just doing their side phone call, you know, to keep clients away from me.
Yeah.
Very man threatened. And let me just say, really, Namira Bar Association, the executive of the Bar Association, man of fair care, but they should really have met on this issue and take a very strong stand on it. Man of fair meet but and make strong representation to the Attorney General. He is the leader of the bar. Judiciary independence goes with the independence of the legal profession. Lawyers must be fearless. Imanyane sila lokula. Kafoko bela cases in the execution of their duties. Inyanda sila men in the execution of their duties is yoku kameni luwa mankata commit crime. That is unpardonable because if even you of the JLC should really take discipline you. How would after the bar executives really take steps about that, you know? But again, maybe what I would say as a member of the bar, a senior politician, a senior citizen, is that let us all be on the side of the law. Na palas wakana kendi me kumal fola ombe kulkala menni luwabu nyanta ya muliyata. I think that is the advice I want to give everybody, including myself.
Yeah. And you know, people say one thing about you is, you know, sometimes that's your always your first point of call. Why is you think that is important? Anything hanatra sometimes when people think at this point it's just too much, we should do otherwise, you always insist on alnga lua noma. Why is it in ko kalua even if it doesn't favor you, that court otherwise and other things, but you keep saying lawyer, even though we agree with it, but it's not important in any. As a senior lawyer, why is that important?
Because Cairo kwakwele sabatindi. Yeah, and of course, an unstable country does not attract investors. Yeah. For instance, I think was it last week? I think the first batch of tourists came in.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if there was turbulence in this country, government never find tourists only will go back. And then we'll suffer. Yeah? We'll suffer because peace, I think, is the key to the progress of any country. Well, we have it in our motto: justice, peace, and progress. Yeah, is the key.
Is the key.
Is the key. So, but then, really, ning landa tamboketa, ato dolo. Ning landa tamboketa, well, imari kafko biwa kai, balu bija saya bija to mbemkundu nakota de. By mansona luatala. I'm going to tell you what I in April 2016. Yeah, in April 2016. But we just say, okay, molbe dunna konle. Atata ke dole Cairoti. Khani dole me lalon kafako. Iko. Nyantan siyo dangotole. Iba Cairo kono bi.
Yeah. So talking about that, before I'll come to arrest before I come to Antinoe. Ngajiko, ila patio still. I keep saying that, I don't know if I should say this sometimes. UDP, but I think what is factual is this: UDP is the only party. Jamaa mi alonko mo Jamal arresta. 22 years ke lokono UDP ron parti to mi anko 22 years ke lokono ngaje ko ila molo soronta ila mol fata ini mansakunda ka tunyola wati ngaje ko ni wato kono nga arresto dolje la campaign manager Mamadou Sabal in December was arrested again few weeks ago he was arrested and Tirifo Bayo Sonko was arrested a press conference can really tough upset comforter why ila demeanor like that at this point why because aldalta arrest aldalta la mol fata aldalta but why do you think this time you were really more upset than ever? You have always been upset but about issues, but I think this time I saw a different tone. Why? What's up?
It is because bondi janto kabiri ngo bondi jeto menat na trajeto alafta tambila membi janto na kunu wala kama that is what is upsetting ni ya jamela jamano lo I don't care but mole keloke mol nyo tutamena ko meloko mol mele alon kafa ko ye ko bele fenkaite fo ya tel ke mansati yo ye te ke mansati adu albe kula tonu albe ko menya na man traba manya traba amanga kafko UDP damane ya fodo ibe kafo men ko no ko tan mel fanal be banko ka ani moko tan mel yalon kafo ko e mo nyim banko e terleti ani NGOs nyono be da ko ta kafo ko men nyanta kala na tane teje kafo ko nyete ta ke kijeto pour men nyanta kala banko ka yake enana bowoto men ka kenu yani te bijeto e ko ke wala diminamo. That is what changes my demeanor because it should not happen. It should not have happened. If it was German, it did. I said, but that is normal. But this one, no.
But this is the thing, Barrow will say, "Film me along Kalia normalized no, but Jamila time and alcohol alta sonal."
kasuma manyadi
Very jamme time it was normal, you know, ibe single nya senior mutala jana.
Yes, because then you know it was recognized Kafoko that was a dictatorship, and you have to fight it. Purka dankala, and in your fight a dankal, ya mera Kafoko dankala, membi jedo umanya na murla woto. Wamu na ta safaro me al Kafoko tanya to sain komo, you know. Wo bonafista woto and really ngalo na ka moli afanya ka for every Gambian their rights are like a do okay and that is true omtonyality ni memmen koy bo fenkela woto ila perception about you know bankola nyatota maga kile bari wa mum international to mel ka in the civil service every Gambian respect of but nak you know million on Kafoko I mean they were architects of the dictatorship in this country kana palas kumalta kadi wala madam odimina watade hanimel ba adama fejeto iba fejeto indi nimis wala bijeto kada mandie be ngalonne embe mu jimbango ne you know yete role soto UDP ko nyam fana ngate role soto NPP ko nyale infante ngate role soto cabinet fan ko nyale
kana tine dol bay
but ni mena harjo banta jebbe bay
kana tine dol
ni mena harjo banta jebbe bay la but that is the truth that is the truth
yeah
you know nte ngammem fenke you know I said it you know nadinding lo Ibrahima Dibanjon modi sapal kam fan ka ko really Alkal Conte for me he's a bad man very man la talking amra Alkal Conte I membeke anyata adama la cabinet la kon that's what I mean well pay back time ana manka kafuka mankarang Amaka Kafka my experience for me is a bad man but poor Adama I'm like Kolomo we see follow you know I see that you know really anyway it tung dinkole but ngebule
so but he seems but then near Jube for example like you say Modul Bafloko every Gambian the right to work in any position. And I understand Iba from you as a member of a party, me alongo atole President Omala party member to know atole doko kale keloke for BC that. So I can understand your perspective. But more for coming for at this point, what relationship what for at this point me alongo UDP Barola relationship I banko for whole at ransom. At this point,
I see.
It does. No, it does. It does because I saw something because Ninga comments will put on Facebook all the time our issues. Well, Kafoko, anytime President or opportunity to speak to us as Gambians, it's about UDP or Aldamala issues. When we want to hear about Kurang Obejila no nyade, we want to hear Mano Dabejila no nyade, Mano Kudo Betala no nyade, Bankola nyatota, economic situation will mean be caring. That's when we want to hear the president speak to us. But whenever he speaks to us, it's about Atol Damala Temo. And at some point he says,
what idea my photo auto?
Is it possible that you guys can come and sit down and talk about all of
it? What I photo Bukake. I don't tackle a fana. Bukaka don't tackle. Yeah. Because in the first place, let me tell you this first place, Kafko, you know, ngam fang kulia back there. Ngam ni mo mang kulia, ngam fang kulia ni mo mang horoma, ngam fang horoma. You know, cool bijeto, hani finar lele. Sakura ko Kafko directly, no. Memu bango la problem ote, so for. Adu nadra Kafko abe president la fanal. Insafo like any bill from coin men fank o president nyanta ko fole ka banko la tamandir ni alon wote Baru Hussein Darboe yuti ba make banko la tamandre nyaati. So maybe mol nyanta diam la tele ka ko ay diam ko president ay ma ko president yeah. Ko Hussein Darboe manke president di baraka mal ko alfa
akoni de iko demokrasi man so iko demokrasi be tinya kanne bari nin demokrasi man so to no kerfato ibe diamu kan no platform intani membe caring ite sotola. Do you still believe na democracy was shaken in at this situation, at this current state?
In fact, memo tonya te. Tell me roto. President men fa kolon ka ko mbe jila nyil kanne ko hawks. O bibo be jila kan wanyale. Bari ba mol nguntanta. Ayole moy. Ay mo langun tang malde adu ngamira femfe yalon ka ko imu marala kendote mo la jing ne mo kuma foto mo le jing kan rol men mo langun tang men ke nyanta ya haklo to baake amene ita kala wasulangti ka ko ni demokrasi janto kirfate ta matamtana adu kadu ko kirfate fanga yemenke pour kaje ko démocratie mka memfo ay menke ya lonne fonatra de elafta ke fan filinde media menke include kerfatu munam bele so ana manke ko report ma yalla ka fako ayen sadalale ntelenga kele fonga soto dol fata dol tata kasola dol wudayta ban man mel be wudayren ibake kanno so manke nyen ka ko yen swalale ntelenga doku ngadi fangla
me muruno la wo to ba because yemin foten kaje mo Jamal I see a lot of Gambian diaspora ka ko no, we worked for this democracy. Moma in democracy di Gambeno le fonga ya doku bayri kawuli dron kata karte fay knowing ko dictatorship mbijang dol ba fale ko camera le katara pulling buto bar hani wo be Gambeno ko no be karte fay la ten anin Gambeno mi be diaspora mi beke fo biye soto mo jama ko no tonya president baro yes italo na president oti and you are the leader of this nation and you are going to strengthen this democracy. Barite manyin democracy dinna. Gambian obele akele. Now, are you concerned we might be sliding back with all this situation?
Well, we are gradually sliding back. Gradually, we are gradually sliding back. Natara is a regulation. Si fenge kafo eko, alkar safe. All bakar nyol safe. Yol safe fang. We mahan kuma kijetu. Ning molko manzakunda nyinti nyarol beke kanjeto president be nyine keka police wala tayi arrest.
Nin police wala ke nyine ngaka fo eko president ko Mr. President, you'll bring trouble in this country. Muna ne ofo. Mr. President, Mr. Example is examples, taking examples more ya commandi. Those, it makes me laugh when I hear that those were some of the questions you would ask somebody you may invite.
Yes, but ni man fence whatever mo nyin kala men. Iba nyin kala kuma kensa ndela. Kome yalon kafuko really kesabato. Nama wala interrogation no wabukame karuku kesole bebolo aman try bakaf ko da fishing like mod sabali kamra ko tiktok asnol tata at moment ko be nyimban ko talale then ngamera nata wo attempted phone call. So balik now that.
Yeah.
You know, every day, political parties no.
No, ite fo ante ngol fo ko
kan platform ka ko nyimban ko batala.
No, ante ngol fo ko dawo ka nyimban ko tala ko be banko tala. I mean, I think
we said that, but you know, paranoid, you know. Ina tat kata anu mo sabale afan ka mandan da ka mara afro ka ko al ben fu nga ta karto fay so ni membe coup d'état ko ba fula ko nga ta karto fa but I think it's also a sense of paranoia and then melka yamari and ngamira will find are doing this service to him the president of this country because everything. He's the most informed person. Yeah. And I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Ito kukela me yalon kafu ngaja ko nyinde na man sekunda la to kendo lafta quality nya. Yeah, man. Ndafu le ko karbula de bar be killa le ngani ka kado ay muneke. Muna na yam. And me for directly ma bankada but me do ko lam koto walbe killer kenyin ka kare mu neke kana man kenyin ka buka ba kalama but maybe fanan nyindol fanal ka ma nyindol fanal ba ma ko rola pour ka to tinya ado bato ba certainly no RSC fake ibo mun ka itafula ko vice president to mo la jeto de
ite minister to mo
maybe is minister to mo jeto minister of interior maybe ha bon bagda bari ka ko president Adama Barrow president la masukuna president Adama Barrow ite to ka fo jeto so to ku yanyi really tonya itala kata maybe dolka kele like I understand you from comment ke ngam video jele in the social media you more mel handle in Joshua you know
yes
Joshua I mean yamo aras kabang put him on cup what else do you need to do muna ne be butela and yamal wo kam mol kam fandi mazakunda kamale but president bara abuko long I am in a kafka ba fasa kan wallahi ba tinya kan because I did you come compile to see whether there is compliance with the human rights protocols and with the constitution because you shouldn't that is torture and already have a law against torture in this country.
But when you near president most of the time whenever he speaks I can't compare with Jammeh sembo means to ngasotole kabirin Jammeh bi jangal bu kanyin kemuna na alsa ba most of the time is that comparison. Do you think that mindset though because we kicked Jammeh out because we wanted you because we thought you were a more democratic person, you're going to respect the rule of law more, so everything else Gambia no la peso kang because they wanted somebody different from what we have. But most of the time now it's more of a comparison to Jammeh nyinkele nung alman femfo Jammeh kanyine kenung ndefana nyin symbols to Jammeh means sotono
ayamira fana ka be mol silandi lele.
Oh, you think that's the
ngamra wala ka be mol silandi lele okay Jammeh kamen kenung fana sa kenung fana ba kenung ka mol silandi wada manno dina bari ngamira sa indal silandiro ani mar ka be 2015 fas njaga choye kamen kon no more fear moy slow dun ni banko kan ay slow dun ay bulol wara April 2015 in fas njaga choye
Alim police all tema UDP e fas njaga choye fa hakiro blandi. You guys had a long rocky relationship with the police. Recently in a press conference to you were really also not very happy with the police. You catalog series of incidents happen time alonko and police all team and recent arrest all from militant solar. Now First, I want to ask, I know Kokabering, after the 2021 elections, there were police officers mini from a video celebrating Tiagas Ofai ala militants the office of the IGP and Koibe all police and they were punished, they suspend them and they were investigating. Did you hear anything first? Did you hear about that investigation? Do you know what the outcome of that investigation was?
And what investigation of mal outcome long, Mama Fonya, and that was just a false PR. That's all. And it has not happened. I would have expected it would come out and inform the public. Kavoko, the incident men kata nyin la karto, na konyi nga investigate le, but mo na stand jeto nga ina find jeto, you know. If you remember, at first yadon koyo ko fenge alkalimu adamala angel leti, alamala ko although for me he's a bad man. Alkalimu member kavoko imaja kabinti agaso fenge driver. So those are the people. Melbuno it lobe it Darboe ni police lokoto, especially IGP Sanyang. Didn't he hajite ako IGP Sanyang? For mu UDP letiba for UDP.
Yes.
So he had to say that monkey UDPT.
Do you think that so much that to the point because he has been UDP in the past.
Yes.
Kabramun deputy IGP.
Yes.
But his tenure has not been really. You guys, would you say is the best of time for your party?
Certainly. It's not in the dispensation in which you are. It's not the relationship that I would have expected. And I did tell them that look, an institution is a national institution. So we don't have anything personal against anybody. But then your style of administration, the style of handling issues, we do certainly have issues with those things. And we will be remiss in our duties to ourselves and to the country. Because mol ko mu UDP te mol fana ba flon de side kavoko ha UDP la hakla no hanatra kavoko my ndur barin kewo wala bi jeto abe behave kind of way will come down hard on him. So it's not a question of relationships, it's a question of bankola tamanda kol men nyanta kala bankol men nyanta bankol. You know, even Jamila time we had some inspectors general of police. I had a good relationship with them. I remember Rex King. Rex King was one of those inspector general of police. Mayor Kafoko. No problem with, you know. Alamane man Kafarkala Tatin Baji also was also a good IG. Benedict Mendy. Yeah. Mr. Mendy, was also a good for us. He was a good IG. Yeah, but there were others. Maybe I don't have really. and I think Mr. Sanyang can redeem himself not for UDP but for the country, so that in fact the public perception about him.
Yeah.
Not for UDP, but the public perception is only UDP in Kafu, but dual funnel Kafu privately.
Yeah, including me, I say it openly. I say it openly.
So, but in fact, you know, one of the reasons I left the new constitution in Naba, IGP, independence, ayo guarantee.
Yeah.
Not a constitution on Najiki. Fanaketa kafuko among fighters sort of by fighters sort of na bala do ko kala nyam ko he'll have been protected by the constitution.
Yeah.
And those are institutions melan kaf they really need protection because they should not be subjected to manipulations by politicians. That is why until after war I know So that Nimu president, after police left a misuse, they'll say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it.
Sinyafula na kachako na yafo nimu president. Sinyafula nkala mo yafo ninketa president. Meaning the notion to rerun might be there still. We'll come to that.
Okay.
Because you know sinyafula
yalo isikeno president Luadra imantra siri state house.
Dolko banku kantala ni mansa mankile.
Absolutely.
Or are you talking about real presidency?
Anyway, new strategy.
2026, 2 years later. Muna UDP la preparatory measures come going into 2026. Is UDP stronger today than it was 2 years ago?
UDP is stronger today. Bilomu kafonyi mbambanta. Bilomu na mol siyata. Bilomu na lonal siyata kat to bela bilam rum fanan kafuko jikobe patio nyiya kato wato mo e ka kodol kakele imala be mewulula ni na santolto 2021 mo jamae karto fay NPP na adenyol amanke NPP dama yala kavuko e kavulo ko kon NPP le NPP telle nga nyinge NPP ni mo jolle danda ngamera fo mo tanil lul ba so wakava so the wakava
the grand coalition
the grand coalition but the Molu have come to me adi yello ne kafako wolbe NPP le adi ko be kata NPP kam bolo say
mona wosa kaf pour mona gata
kadu ko ye même foye nakuoto ay kafako wala man so ko kaf dol ko fitna modom dol ko kabiru wudum I mean, I think it was about 10 days in. Yeah, Jumatan datan lota nyum fondi kol nyato. Yeah, ka denklo leye ngoy ko al say, en ngang mulot no fondi kol danka ko te musute laftale no yata muso nyini yedi mbayal soto. Wala bakala mbiye na fade. Yada ngeri man kaf ka dimbu December to this season nin ko keta nyam banko da. Wol ko yes quand même faire ko to yar fant fani yalo kani mu finna motino wolung nung ni ko gambe be mala la banen gambe malata ase buto ntelebe bid la ko amu jumale nafala so do bi jeto and a lot of people have come to me kam ko yem men miranye it's not true. And I know some had some hard views about UDP, but when they engage me person to person, and they find that no case to menkabong and anyabe kuyari yara fandu nyumo mosi falum.
Yeah.
And they change after that, and those people they become ambassadors.
You can even put into Tonyalo because I know a majority of the Gambians have this perception about you, right? I personally have spoken to people and they say certain things. I'm like, is it the same person I always sit and interview that this way about? Or when they say some tribal comments or even say, come fitina molom, fitina cool, and all that stuff, especially during the 3 years journey. I remember a friend of mine say, Kida for buka fitna torop, mungi je fitna, mungi ni dega na down na bay na reumi. And I'm sitting, I'm like, is he talking about the same person that I interview or I speak to sometimes? And you see things that stick to you. And broadly to the party also. And UDP, up to now, Almo Bondino completely from majority of the mindsets. mul believe the walla jama majority of the people believe the walla ko number one mul coming for UDP. I'm sorry to say tribal issues have been attached to your party, and also kafukof nyunu fitina multi, and that 2021 really worked. I know some people have said, I don't think so, but still now a majority of the people still believe that. What is the part to remove that label? Because it's still there. You still people see people who are still worried about Allah leadership, especially you.
Well, yalo nimme man lafi mandi kola tonka yala. Definitely wala fankala. But yalo na tribe masang. Isin sinne feng be falin no. Fana mandin kaya. Na dia tanya. Insi nto falin. Nama insafoko antomu John Sanya neti. Okay. Then nga phone call publish, you know, the near bear and cover conte nun to mol cover 10 in 10. Then to John song since to falling no there. Alakana miro dum kunkono. Nadi safalin no there. Isi Gambia diya. Safalin no nga ko manke Gambia citizen sai nga Sweden la citizenship ta. What Swedish nationality. Warna mandinka diya. Anin to falin no la. To falin no la. So nim membentala eventala wala kan ka ko mandinka ding lom nyenti. Adala mandinka diya falin no la ko Alunjai ala sunyame wala pate so tala diya nana note something I mean maybe bala sarakule afale no la nyame yes nimme bentala wala ka bar mel ko fo yama mel ka jib tribal lands jibe imanga hakili malati kan telema fenke wolon ka ko na look at our program. Is it a program? Is it a viable program or not a viable program? Bawa bankonya tatamala wala. Adon ni bijeto atakana kafu kwa mandin called damane bekala ministers nyolti. Ministers nyolti. Dina kote mo bekala ministers.
I remember even when you were foreign affairs, Moli accused ko ila appointments were all non-mandinkas. So that only shows ko, you know.
But we are on mandinka, but mandinka.
You don't look at things of private tribal lenses, yeah.
No. Femi Peters mu akwalti.
Yeah.
Suleiman Bunjak mu surwalti. Amatal mu amatal tuklor surwa. You know? Ebu mane mandinka nyancho. Surwa nyancho. You know? Tony Blaine. No, not Tony Blaine. Achille Blaine.
Yeah.
You know? Malatarol. You know? Mandinka ambassador gamel don jeto keme sen jamme fay Cissé. Of course there was Alassana Jammeh. But Alassana Jammeh president fang la tombantro mo no wote de man kaf konta nga recommend president fang la wotanta so ngamandi ko fasa min tole bari yalo ni mal la fi man sa kunda nyinina man sa ka jube munum alafta mun kala banko ala programme moment ya e bukala siyo jube ba nimmen ko de ben siyo le jube la but definitely you know adum ngamira nin kom bokala na agenda ti you know kafko label ni ngambonde you know no wato man nyanta nyatil na men mbol abandon ka nyanta nyatle na mena won kamol condens ka fa ko inom kudi mel sal nafa kan be mun fa ka ko mun na de manque tribalisme be mun fa le ngamun tribal agenda le soto ngamuna kama yalan ka fa ko mandin kol ten ko kilin dan ka wasu wala de na mandin kadiya Allah yalon ka wasu wala le imusiyo menti inyantle wasu wala Sikilim bijanto ngol appreciate baka ila programo on GRTS Bukambis. I don't hear a word. But nobody hear from Bunya.
Manjak program.
Manjak program.
Yes.
I like it.
It's been there for like.
I like it.
Yeah, it's Manjago.
Yes, I like it.
It's a good program.
It's a good program.
Yeah.
Well, Faninde Gambia, when you Gambia, a program on Bukaswa phone call. I always want to say Bukama Kamemfo.
Yeah.
But I know Kafuko, if a culture, ila sio, iba protect, iba promote kane. And if make sure come for Kafuko, ila wulu fangal be, ibe yal kang ma adon wala nyanta. Yeah. But nimol fankra janto, ye placas nyol bondi, inate lota, commanding society, na Darboe support, iba vla tribal fankolo. But more that I Sarakula Fonko, Sarakula Society, Nakar support. Momanka tribalism today. Nafiki bijeto. In Karadola, Amanka is not any tribalist. But in Karadola is tribalism. Nafiki Damana bijeto. And Ngamira, we will live with that for a long time. It started only Jame's time. And of course, the EUD tribal party, Adama Barrow knows that. Dembo knows that. All of them, they all know that. Melnate Kafajet. APRC agenda Kawa, and then they use the tribal fund and then accentuating it. Very correlate. Certainly better. I'm lafta kasa kona manding kadiya. Ndwala de. Adem be kontin la kasu waswala. Wado ngama ko manga manding kadari ajula kundang.
Ajula yes, ajula kundang ko. Critics ko UDP is not with all the brains in the party. Mojama believe ko the party is not utilizing the vast resource of technocrats, particularly recently, and I see a lot of people when we see the people like Lamin Manes, I love bringing Larry on my show all the time, the Uncle Larry and Lamin and others. You know, when you speak to them, the kind of Fenkol Yeminje, Ikaministoto, why is the, more calibers J? Let's say, for example, when it comes to the National Assembly, right? We haven't seen policy-driven agendas that UDP as a party formulating bills mialonko abe naiba natila National Assembly to mialonko really, yeah, this is drawn from the party's wealth of experience, technocrats and communities. I mean, to be honest, but when it comes to technocrats, all these good people, but yeah, so tole, not na more sifalje when it comes to policy issues, especially at the National Assembly.
You are right. Mol maja, barangam mol baji la temela. Katu, we had two Benfula Soto. Killing was to draw up a legislative program. Okay. Kanyim Memfo na mantel dol for bar mol belona okay, then another one finance auto retreat the National Assembly members only to look. In fact, first to look at the constitution, was rejected, and to look also at other issues. National Assembly members, ila long ka multi jele don kafoko, ikan I or no. Kauka manko damante. But kukotang fana bijetole, mayalon kafoko inyanda kake. And under the leadership of minority leader Alaji, supported by all his colleagues, and then tapping on the experience of the former majority leader, Barrow,
yes.
You'll see things coming out. Now, for instance, on the economic front, already na kanyim for nanya experts they've started producing documents. In fact, we have produced series 1, and I present to the Central Committee for done. Because Malafika anything funded without really a Central Committee endorsement sort of. Yeah. And it is building a new Gambia, dealing from the Gambia from the status of a low income country or a least developed country to mid income country and then to high income country. Yeah. Or those three stages. Yeah. And Yafanyamen na Molo, Mr. Mane, Mr. Sise, Amadou Sane, Modbali, Mr. Tal Nyolu, Mr. Fandino, we put their brains together and then did that. Surprisingly, Kunu came across one document, a yellow, the little yellow book, you know. Currently, yes, UDP has always been blessed to have people, resourceful people, intelligent people, people committed. It's a 11-point program, you know, on various issues from democracy and rule of law to environment, everything.
Wow. Is that going to be the program towards?
No. This was published.
This was published.
This was
a few years ago.
And guess who typed it? I did it, but guess who typed it?
Who typed it?
Solo Sunday.
Wow.
He did it. It was Solo Sunday, Ibumane, Dr. Boro Suso. Yeah. So Dr. Boro Suso and Ibumane, they were the intellectual thrust. And then Fonkonye, Solo Sunday did the typing. And I edited it.
Wow.
Yes. So, very mindful. Very soon, you will see things happening in the National Assembly because we have already drawn up a legislative program.
Okay.
Part for part.
Finally, the question everybody wants to know: 2 years into 2026, I see the 4-day Jaulas and others say we have only one candidate coming Senegal. Pastef, Dola candidate on coming for the wrong. We have only one candidate. We don't have plan A. We don't have plan B, C. It's Usman Sonko. Yeah, I see some of your people saying the same, and a lot of people say it's about time. Usenu Dawo a bootsol hang and give someone else. Because the same thing. Is it not time to